started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Falling, 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 falling,
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I just need run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in the shade. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in the way. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadow. Join the army of the shadows, shadows, shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in their shade. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in their way.
You and me, hanging from the willow tree, quietly drifting in the open breeze. Suddenly, the wind blows you away from me. Now I see we were never meant to be. If only we could travel back in time. Whoa, right where we belong. Maybe we'll never need a reason why. Whoa, dance until the dawn. If only we could travel back in time. Whoa, right where we belong. Maybe we'll never need a reason why. Whoa, dance until the dawn. Born from the same branch and leaves.
Good morning, traders. How are we doing today? Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Shane, the Bastard, Miss Tony Stark. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Scalper Ryan. How you doing? Ready to come on stream? What's up, West Wimbo? Snitzel with the creepy raccoon head. Gotta love that. Thank you for the follows today, guys. I'm gonna do all the follower shoutouts and stuff at the end. Okay, just so we can get Mr. Scalper Ryan in. Alrighty. He's a busy man, alright? A guy with a plan, balancing the family life, trader life, and all that other good stuff. Alrighty. So let's get him in the room. Scalper Ryan, if you can hear me, just keep the stream on mute. That way it won't be playing double. I'm going to turn on the music a little bit. And let's hear it from Scalper Ryan. You guys pumped or what? One of the hardest working traders I know. Ryan has chores. Okay. Let me just connect my speaker here. Alright, I'm still very low budget stream. Alright, traders? Hello, Ryan, can you hear me?
Hear me?
Yeah, you're good. How are you?
Hello. Very weird. Can't hear you.
Oh. Whoa! Good lord! Sorry about that, 1 second. Ryan broke my speaker. Okay, try again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can.
You can hear me? Okay.
A little bit of an echo.
A bit of an echo? I'll try to sit back a little bit. Yeah, it's a pretty trailer park setup I have going on over here. So.
Well, you got Twitch going okay. You should be able to. You can what do you call it? You can route your speaker or your output straight through Twitch somehow, or Streamlabs if you're using it.
Oh yeah, from the Discord?
Yeah, no, not Discord, but like even through Streamlabs you can do it. I don't know. There's a way of doing it.
Okay, well, I'll have to look it up. So sorry about the echo on my side.
No, it's all good. There's no more echo now. I think we're good.
Okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, I just kind of took a few steps back.
All good.
How are you doing today? How's the week for you? Any plans for the weekend?
No, just hang out with the family. It was my son's birthday party yesterday, so just got to hang out with some of the dads and friends and let my kid run around. And kid's got a skateboard lesson later, so we'll be at the skate park most of the day, and then probably tomorrow as well.
Man, that's so cool.
Unfortunately, not a Canadian holiday on Monday, so I'm back to work and he's back to school on Monday. But at least gives me time to prep and maybe catch up on a little bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, happy birthday to your son.
Thank you. He was treated very well. He's spoiled as usual.
Yeah, that's funny. So, how did you do in the market this week? Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about your story, your background, kind of PGIR style. How did you first discover you wanted to start trading, like day trading, swing trading?
So I guess my start was a couple years, or there's some wicked feedback.
Some feedback?
Yeah, I'm talking. Hold on. I'll talk and then the echo though.
Here, while you're telling your story, I'll step away from the computer. 1 sec.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, is that better?
I'll talk a little bit. It's still getting a bit of an echo though. No, not as bad. So, So my story, So back in 2018, I was thinking, you know what, start doing some self-directed investing, and so grab some shares and just some value plays like Boeing and Pfizer and all that. Thinking, oh, you know what, these plays aren't going anywhere. I'll try it myself, right? And did okay, a little bit there. And then I thought, you know what, let's try something else. I heard about this stock called AMRN, and fish oil came in. And like, all right, you know what, I heard it the night before on a Sunday. I'm like, let's try this. So I tossed $1,000 in it, and completely randomly, not knowing anything about charts. And then overnight it went to 14 or something like that, and I sold it all. I was like, holy crap, this is insane. Like, I can't believe I just made a 7x return on my stock over one night. Sold me, right? So that was kind of what got me. But then, I worked in a very, a very work intensive. At the time, I was a partner at a firm, and I was very intensive, so I couldn't really focus on that. So, kind of sat on the back burner for a bit until 2020, and then COVID came. And in that period, I had a pretty nasty divorce with my previous company, and I started up with a new one that allowed me to work from home. So work fell off a cliff, and I was able to say, you know what, let's maybe give this trading thing a try again. So got onto Twitter, found a bunch of things, took calls blindly, and then realized I could make a lot of money but lose a lot of money at the same time. So then really kind of settled in and said, you know what, I really got to learn this shit.
Right.
So that's kind of where I started.
Okay.
And then ever since then, I've kind of, it's my journey's kind of been up and down. And then started day trading when the work was slow, and then work picked up, decided to start swinging, tried 100 different indicators and ways. And then ultimately, I found a way that spoke to me a lot, and it happened to be the volume profile, which was a big thing for me.
Right.
So I went into volume profile, really went to there, and really thought, this is a really good option, and then found Brady's education. And Brady's education really spoke to me, so him and I kind of connected, and then, I don't know, I'm super fortunate that he just decided to take me under his wing, and we became great friends, and have continued trading together since, and he's been an excellent mentor and a better friend. So
Man, that's awesome.
I've been very fortunate to learn from one of the best. So it's kind of where my journey, my end goals notes at least.
For sure. We see Brady in the chat there. Hey, Brady, how you doing today?
Hey, Brady.
Good morning.
Thanks for showing.
Everyone's throwing the water bottles in the chat. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about how did you, when you first started trading and you're still working, how did you find that balance? Like, how could you trade and work at the same time? Especially, like, I don't know how your job was, but if you were like a Monday to Friday or something like that, what was your kind of the key to your balancing act there?
So I guess some little background on that. So when I started it, when COVID time hit and I decided to give this full force, my hours got reduced drastically. Like I was literally looking, I had nothing to do. So I was able to do it quite easily at the time, but again, not knowing anything, I wish I knew more. So and then it got to a point near the fall where work started to pick up really big again, and I got to a point where I couldn't manage, and I couldn't manage work and life and trading all at the same time. I was sleep deprived. I was grouchy because I was losing money. My family taking a hit. My personal life, just me personally, my work was taking hits. So I had to make a decision to say I need to find balance somehow. And it sucked because I could see the gains that my fellow Scout team in Atlas, Volvo team I guess now, was making. And I couldn't make it with them because I couldn't commit that time, that screen time to go there. So I had to make the hard decision for myself to say, I can't do this. And that's really kind of where a big tipping point came for me mentally, to say, I can't compare my hustle to someone else's. And I've been that my whole professional life. I've never compared my hustle. And I really had to apply that at that point to trading and say, I can't look at normal money. I'm going to learn from them. I'll learn from them. I'll watch them, but I can't compare myself to them anymore. And that really was a big turning point mentally for me to say, I'm just, like, I see all these gains now on Twitter, and I see guys making, like, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands. And, it's like, man, I know these guys, they started early, later than me around the same time, where, I know they're great traders, and I feel like I could be where they are, but I can't compare myself. My hustle's a little different. So that's kind of really where it really changed for me. So at that point, I decided, I'm gonna focus on swing trading. That's kind of where I had that balance of saying I have to compartmentalize trading in some ways. So I prep at night, outside of my kids and my family time, and I finish my work. And during the work week and during the work hours, I'm fortunate that I get to work from home. So I have a 4-screen setup. I'm able to monitor the market. I'm able to work at the same time. There's days where I'm stuck in phone calls, or I'm in the middle of a project that I have to deal with that I miss my sells, or I miss my buys, or I have to ignore my alerts, right? And that's crummy, right? But I've been adjusting over time to say I got to find something more reliable, to say I can't do these quick intraday movements and have to babysit my plays unless I have times. I have to find more reliable, oversold, bottomed out plays that allow me to buy as close to the bottom as possible, and if I miss a spike, so be it, because I know it's not going to flush me. Right? I'm going to get another opportunity to get on it. So that's kind of, it's been a constant adjustment, and Brady's certainly helped with that tremendously, because he's had a very similar work work trading ratio, so to speak, where he said he'd work up to 100 plus hours in his previous job, and that's
Wow.
kind of where I'm at. I work 100 plus hours at my current job, and I still have
Man.
family, and I still have to find time to trade. So that's
That's
long-winded.
great.
Sorry, I kind of rambled there.
No, that's great. That's what you're here for. Everyone's saying they're loving the, everyone can relate. So that's, it's very inspirational to see and hear that kind of a story because we all have day jobs. We're not there where we want to be yet, right? Um, we're giving ourselves some time. I know that you said the same thing as me, which is you give yourself 2 years to kind of really be successful in this game. What's kind of your mindset behind the 2-year game plan?
So my game plan has always been the 2-year game plan for me is I want to learn as much as so I started trading and trading with Brady in late December, and I made the decision at that point with having learning from him and learning from everyone else I possibly can to I want to be consistent in the market for a full year, like just consistently learn as much as I can. I should say, pick up every
Yeah.
strategy, learn to trade every market, every season, every whatnot, right? And I appreciate being able to bank hard in January, February. I lost a decent amount in that big crash, in that big fall. But that being said, I've been working on consistency and just working on. I appreciate the slow market so much because at the end of the day, I want to be able to consistently trade in every market. So I gave myself a year time frame to say, learn as much as you can within this year. I'm not going to be perfect, but learn as much as I can within this year. And then next year, really go full tilt, especially come November when things get hot again. Go full tilt, apply everything I possibly know, and really bank and build up that cash cushion. So I give myself a full year after that to bank and build up that cash position. Then I can say, I can do this now. And if I can
Yes.
prove myself, I can do that for a full year in slow, middling, and hot markets. Then you know what? All I've said, I can possibly take a step back from my full time, right? So,
Exactly. Man, that's so crazy. That's exactly the same mindset that I had when I made that post attached to my account. Just like I'm gonna, it's easy to say, I'm gonna be a millionaire this year. We have all these opportunities in the market. I'm gonna crush it. But realistically, you have to give yourself that amount of time to make those mistakes, take those. You're gonna have big victories, but you're gonna have big losses as well. And so it's a very realistic mindset to plan to fail and then plan to succeed after that with the new tools that you're kind of picking up along the way, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I want to ask you as well. So you were primarily a swing trader then while you were working, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So I was wondering when the market kind of sort of took a turn for the downside in March. We saw kind of a change in those swings happening. Stuff just kept dipping and dipping. Did you have to adjust your strategy to more of a day trading style?
100%. I think that's the thing. I this was my first real big crash, so to speak. Especially, and you know what? It built a lot of January, February built a lot of confidence in me, as well as everyone else. Right? You could pretty much buy high and sell higher. Now it's
Right.
like when that came, I did take big hits. Right? I kept buying lower, thinking I got support, and then it would dip, and I'd have to stop out and get something else. And I was trying this method. I was very upfront in my Twitter and my journaling at the time, where I said, I'm trying this method where I'm going to cycle back into something that I feel like is oversold, cut a loss, cycle into something oversold, and try to spike. And I get a little 5% spike, but it wasn't enough to make it up, right? And I keep trying that. I tried that for a couple weeks and it just didn't work. So I pretty much flattened my account and went to say, okay, you know what? I gotta start building this back up again, right? This is a big mistake I made the past couple weeks, and yeah, it's I had to adjust entirely. I wanted to get back into day trading, so I did tweak a little. I did dabble back into day trading a little bit, but I, like I said, with my job, I can't. The reason I've decided to swing instead of day trade is because with my job being so intensive and hourly, I can't dedicate that screen time to the market to consistently trade a strategy. So even though I have a day trading strategy that I think works, um, if I can't be at my screen for a certain set of time and beat those increase my probability by increasing the volume on that, then I kind of am gambling at that point, right? So
Yeah.
it's tough for me, right? So where I've kind of adjusted things now, it's similar to what I do in January, February, right? when it was super slow, I honestly just had to sit on my hands. I had to I worked with maybe 10% of my capital. I was looking for swing scalps that would give me 5-10% gains. And
Gotcha.
it sucked to make such little money, especially considering I lost quite a bit. But I was like, you know what? I'm building consistency. I'm building good habits, and that's kind of what I've been doing the past 2 months. Really, just finding these little setups that allow me to make 5-10% consistently over and over and over and over again. And yeah, it's just that's kind of where I've kind of been on that one.
Oh yeah, that's great. Let's say just kind of a quick example. You're going to take a day trade on something. What do you look for your confluence to really enter and exit a trade? What's kind of your bread and butter for an intraday play?
For an intraday play, I like momentum. So obviously, I was born and raised in the scalper and trading momentum plays. I'm not nearly as good as some of those guys, obviously, but what I'm looking for primarily is I'm looking for big volume, big relative volume,
Gotcha.
and relatively low floats. So under 50 mil. Obviously there's some, and 25 to 50 is obviously great. Under that is a great float because I know it's going to move aggressively, and especially say your pre-market volume is already that, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for good volume. I personally am looking for 50 to 61.8% fib retracements from pivot low to pivot high, and I want to scale in slowly through there. I want to scale in through there and then sell into the pre-market high a day and hold for the higher ones, right? The higher targets. That's typically what I like to do. It's more comfortable for me to trade that way, and then I can get a little 30% move there between 61.8, 50 to 61.8, right? Get something around between 30-40% from there if I get that pre-market trade.
Right.
High.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Great.
Does anyone in the chat, sorry, I haven't really been reading the chat. If anyone has any questions for Mr. Scalper Ryan, I'd love to hear them. You can throw them up in chat. I'm looking now. While I'm waiting for that, do you want to talk a little bit about your piano playing? We'll kind of switch gears a little bit. So you've been playing for, 33 years?
Yeah, so I'm 36.
Wow.
I've been playing since I was 3 years old.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Typical Asian typical Asian, where my parents stuck me in front of a piano and said I'd go, and it's I competed for, I don't know, pretty much when I was 12 to when I was 18. Won a lot of competitions in my home city. Was going for my I don't know if you know my piano, but was going for my ARCT, my performance ARCT.
Wow.
But I was in engineering school at the time when I was doing that, so that required through high school I was practicing maybe 4 or 5 hours a day. And
Right.
then,
Oh my god.
and on top of my school, but obviously I can't go through engineering university, doing 6-7 courses per semester and practice that much too. So I had to put that on had to cut that out of my life, which sucks. But now I just play for the love of playing now. So I'll sit at the piano for half hour a day. Sometimes if I have time, I'll literally practicing till 2 or 3 in the morning just because I enjoy it, right? So.
Man, that's crazy. So cool. So I was kind of the same way with guitar playing. I used to play for I'd come home from school, play for 3-5 hours a night. And I played so much that my fingers would I literally couldn't play anymore. They were bleeding and brutal.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, you have so much going on. How do you take, when do you take some time off? What do you like to do? If let's say you could take a week off from trading, from work, it's just you and your family. What do you like to do in your time off? When do you get a break?
Geez, you know what? I'll be honest. COVID sucks, especially in Canada. I think you're Canadian too, right?
I'm Canadian. Yeah, I'm in Toronto.
Yeah, so we've been shut down so long. I haven't been able. The last time I took a day off was at Christmas. I've tried to take several days off since then, and I end up working. So it's been brutal. If I were to take time off, I go on vacation in July, which is great. I'm in Vancouver, but
Nice.
hopefully I'm going for a week. So I'm just honestly, my personal what I love to do and I love to do with my family is I love to travel. This has been really hard for us. So if I can, the second I'm able to travel, I'm gone. And I'll hopefully be able to trade while I'm out traveling, but at the same time, I'm happy to unplug as well. So
Definitely, for sure.
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm working hard towards. I'm working hard towards trading so I can build up. I can go on vacation for a month with my family and not worry about money, not worry about coming back to something, right?
100%. I love that. We do have a question from JB Paperstacks. Shout out to JB. How you doing? He wants to know, does Ryan think that piano practice has helped his overall work ethic? That's a great question.
100%. I equate everything I've done to piano. My success in my school, my success in my professional life, and my success, my future success, at least my work ethic within piano, within trading. Personally, myself, and I'm sure you can relate too, in terms of your guitar playing, how I trade or how I study for trading and how I practice piano and just the dedication to it are very similar. I compartmentalize how I study. So, like Brady said in a lot of his streams with VPA, for example, I'll use VPA for example, and this VPA example book. Don't read through all in one go. Take bite-sized portions and imprint it. So for me personally, like I'll go through the candlestick chart, the VPA book, and the example book, and I'll literally choose maybe 3-4 pages, and I will just write it over and over and over and over until it's in my head. And I'll write it, and that's exactly how I did it with piano. I'll find if there's 3-4 bars I need to know, I'll practice those 3-4 bars for 3-4 hours straight. It drives my wife absolutely mad because she's never heard me practice before.
Yeah.
But I'll practice those same 3 bars over and over and over for 3-4 hours. And she's like, what the hell? It sounds perfect. I'm like, no, there's something wrong with it.
Man, that's just like me. I'm the same way with guitar. That's so funny.
Exactly. So that's exactly how I do it with trading. If there's something I don't get, I will read it over and over until I get it. And if I don't get it, then I'll just be like, shit, this is bothering me to the point where that's why I'm up till 3-4 in the morning, because that's just my mindset. I have to figure it out before I go to sleep. So.
Yes, 100%. We've got a bit of a technical question for you, Ryan. Sorry, my mouse blocked it. Does Ryan pay for exchange fees or just standard? Just has standard on TradingView. Are you using TradingView for your charting? How are you charting?
I chart with TradingView. That's right.
Okay.
So I pay a subscription for it. I think it's like 150 US a year or something like that.
Nice.
I'm an affiliate with them now because of my social media, which has been nice.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's I pay a subscription for them. I think it's worth every penny.
Yeah, 100%. So you guys can definitely check that out. Any other questions for Ryan in the chat there? So I'm just scrolling through. He's famous, says Brady.
Not as famous as Brady.
Yeah, right? Brady's killing it. Let's see. Has your son shown any interest in trading at such an early age? I feel like maybe not. I don't know. Okay, that's what I thought.
So I'll be honest. My family's been incredibly supportive. My wife's been incredibly supportive. But at the same time, and I don't know, I'm sure many of you guys can relate. I live and breathe this, and it's kind of to a point where they understand and support it, but they don't. So my son has been like, every time I'm on the phone, he's like, oh look, Dad's looking at trading stuff again. Dad's talking to his trading friends, or Dad's looking at trading stuff, and I'm like, I feel bad, and in that case, I feel like I guess it's no different than work for me. So at that point, when I get those comments from him, I put my phone down. I don't like. There's days I ghost everything, and
Yes.
my family means everything to me, and I'll quit trading if it means their happiness, and as much as that sucks, but I'm working for their happiness. So I try to tell myself all the time, I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing this. This isn't about the money, because money comes with process, right? And I'm working on my process to get better at things, and I'm trying to tell him that it's hard work, just no different than him trying really hard at skateboarding, or I teach him piano, or like hockey that he loves, right? I'm like, you gotta practice, right? And I'm trying really hard. Like I try to tell him, like, Dad's trying really hard to get better at this, so I can have. Money's not everything, but money provides opportunities.
Exactly.
Right? To build memories. So I want to be able to take you and Mom on vacation to Disneyland or Disney World for a month and not worry about anything. We can go sit at nice restaurants. I can buy you nice things. We can go travel the world and not worry about that. And build memories, help your grandparents, right? And he gets that. So I'm trying to teach him, like, I'll teach him how to trade. Like, when I get better, obviously. I want to teach him how to trade and invest and, be aware of the market in that ways. But at the same time, I want him to find his own path. And if trading is something he loves to do, I'll absolutely support that. But I want him to be able to find his own path as well.
For sure. Man, that is so sweet. I'm over here just like smiling. It feels so wholesome. I love that. That's like that's the dream, man, for sure. I hear you.
Yeah.
Let's change gears a little bit back into to trading just a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about sector rotation and where do you think the market is headed next? I know things seem to be starting to come back to small caps a little bit. Everyone's getting pretty excited. What do you think is next for the market in general? Market conditions, I guess.
Well, that's a good question. Brady's kind of been my my bellwether for that to help me along, right?
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go, and I have a scanner that we work with, and then so like I use trade ideas. So I with work being busy, I haven't really been identifying it as much lately, which I feel kind of ashamed with. But at the same time, um, for me, if I miss the first run, so like NFTs, for example, last year I missed NFTs. I'll always look for a second bounce. So now it's like you see semiconductors getting a hit. I'll look for the second bounce on semiconductors. I think EV and weed are starting to start showing signs of life, just in general, right? I have to do a little bit more of a deep dive on things, but everything's cyclical, right? So where things are now, and then try to anticipate what happened before. So I feel I always felt like EVs and weeds are going to come back, but I think EVs are overcrowded too, right? So you got to look at
Yes.
other things like sustainable energy, and those are big things that are coming up with the way governments and politics are being run. Sustainable energy is getting really big. Obviously, weed's still a big factor, right? It's getting more regulated. EVs and anything electric and whatnot. NFTs are also big and going to stay huge as well. So it's just trying to stay. For me, it's I like to be ahead of the game, but I don't want to be ahead of the game too much where I just let my money sit there either, right? I want to be
Yeah.
able to get in and out inside of weeks. So I'll see how things set. I kind of let things set up week to week and go from there. Right? I'm kind of disappointed I missed it's a semi run, but it is what it is. So I'll keep my eyes open, and as a trader, I can't get too caught up in missing runs because it is
Yeah.
what it is.
No, definitely. Now, is there a sector that you really know well and like to play? I know Incredible Bob. He really likes his bios. Is there one that you think you really have down?
Wow, that's a good question. I couldn't answer that, to be honest. I can't really
Yeah.
answer that, to be honest. I like playing everything.
Gotcha.
Right now, so similar to what Brady's taught me, and I'm sure you see a lot of the plays that we take. We like playing sector themes. So whatever the hot sector is, I like to play. I like to find the leaders of every sector and diversify amongst them and go, right? So, or even like if something's going, similar to NFTs, for example. NFTs went, I missed the run, but
Right.
I noticed that MUDS and Playboy were two lagging NFTs that hadn't been run, right? So, and they were on a pullback. So I was like, I like those, right? So, really, in terms of a typical sector, I wouldn't say there's one I like in particular, because I don't have that experience yet either, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I like playing anything just as a technical setup. But if I had to choose something that I like a lot, I do like semis and LiDAR a lot. Why I like semis a lot is because I did a lot of research into them. I understand their personalities, and like I said, that's why I'm disappointed I missed this past run. So I feel like I could trade those really well, just because they're predictable for me. And then LiDAR is also a big one because that's also something I've worked in my professional life. So I'm kind of just I have a fondness for that one. So
Got you. Let me just catch up in the chat here for a minute. No, yeah, that's great. So JB Paperstack says OTCs. Have you been playing any of the OTC market, or do you personally like to stick to just the regular stocks?
I have dabbled in OTC. I don't like to. I haven't really recapped or charted them because I'm testing it out on my own. And again, just,
Gotcha.
in terms of testing it out, I have a margin account as well. I play in. I haven't played in my margin account since the market took. So, but I have a capital. But I'm literally playing with maybe 5-6% of my margin account, and that's the cash conversion of it with OTC. I just want to test things out. So
Right.
I see these guys in this one in the chat we're in. I'm like, I see these guys make killer gains, day trades on OTC. So I just want to get familiar and understand how to play them properly. And it seems to be right now. I got the long term aspect of it. I want to get the understanding of the day trading aspect.
Got you for sure. Yeah, it's kind of I kind of learned it a little bit through Fearless Traders Discord, GMT. If you guys want to check that out, you can. They play a lot of OTC plays in there. All right. Just let me scroll through the chat. See if anyone's saying anything. What type of research on semis? Where do you start?
So semis, when I looked at them back in the day, and I did a little write up on them. I should actually post that, but I should repost it. Semis, I looked at so basically just looking for the leaders. You do Twitter. You know, the great thing about I don't have the time to do a lot of fundamental and just fundamental DD. I just don't. Obviously, I kind of went through my life and my typical
Right.
days. So
That's like me.
yeah. So I don't. For me, I find FinTwit's great that way. Atlas, all these chats, all this group, everything. Like you can do a lot of research. You can piggyback a lot of research that a lot of other great traders have done. So for me, for looking for something with semis, for example, I don't remember exactly where it started, but I'll say LEDS, for example, low floats, popular, previous runners, all that kind of stuff. So I just start on FinTwit and I look at LEDS and I see what other tickers are being mentioned with it, and then I start building out from there. And then from there, I see what's popular, and then I kind of rate it on popularity. And then I start looking at the chart, seeing how the charts are predictable, and then I kind of build my my watch list and my ones I like the best out of them right from there.
Gotcha.
So that's why I like semis, because I find a lot of them are low float. Almost all of them are low floats, and almost all of them have very similar personalities and very predictable personalities. My list in semis is a lot bigger because I find that the basket's a lot bigger.
Right, gotcha. Okay. Scroll through the questions here. We look pretty well caught up on the questions. We're saying hello to Trina. Hey Trina, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Once again, guys, if you have any questions for Scalper Ryan, we have him on live today. All right. Could be fun if we didn't. Oh. BMAC, thank you for the question. He says, great answer. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So, what is you have kind of your focus is momentum, right? Momentum day trading. Do you have what does it take to take a swing right now? Are you kind of warming back up to swinging? Or are you still mostly cash?
I'm warming up to swinging again. There was a point on, I think Wednesday night, I had 60% cash, which is quite a lot, quite low for me considering how things have been lately. But I am warming up to swinging more. I find the market's a lot more predictable. I'm able to wake up more often to some gains versus shit, another dip.
Yeah, right.
So, you can see it starting to come back. You can see setups starting to come back. Look, slowly, right? My scanner is starting to pick up a lot more, a few better plays that I like, more reliable plays. A lot of the small caps, the popular small caps that I liked back in January, February, are still not set up for my liking. Could they run? Yeah, absolutely, they will. But now it's me trying to understand. Okay, if the market's coming back and these aren't set up yet, now I got to look at I got to start identifying better setups that are going to work in the next little short term, right? In the short term area, right? Considering that June is typically slow, but I've heard lots of buzz that this could be an anomaly year, right? Anomaly month, where it's actually volume seems to come back in June typically. So got to still party close to the door. So at this point though, now it's like I'm looking at maybe you start looking at around the 20-30 or the 20-30 day charts instead, right? And start saying, hey, could this make a good movement? And I like the 20-30 day charts personally. So, could this set up for a possible reversal? So where I'm still looking, and where I've looked recently over the past several weeks, is look for super oversold plays, because if you look for super oversold plays, the probability of them going against you, even if the market dips, is a lot lower than trying to find something that's high up, right?
Right. So we have a question coming in. I'm going to add a little bit to it. He wants to know, this is from Pasha72. Thank you for the question. Could you ask Ryan if he scales in and how he decides if the trade is going against him? And I'm going to add to that, what time frames do you like to use on your charts for intraday or for swinging?
Any of them, I always start with the 1 year, the 1 year 1 day. That's always a
Gotcha.
big one. The 1 year 1 day gives me all my levels I need. They're the strongest levels. Those are the ones that are magnets too. At that point, if I have too much of a gap between my dailies, I'll zero in on the 4 and try to find levels between. And then if I find too much gap there, I'll zero in on the 1 hour. At that point, then I start to go dial in and look at. At that point, I zoom. And if you look at my recaps, that's exactly how I do it. And then I'll go straight into my intraday. But making a day trade, for example, and I would say 9 times out of 10, those levels I drew correspond with a lot of levels that have been hit intraday already, and I'll start looking for those in terms of scaling. So,
Okay.
like I said, intraday I'll start looking at 50 to 61.8. If it fails that, it all depends on the level. Is there a level immediately below? Maybe I might hold my mental stop at that point, but I might just cut it at that point if it failed and try to reposition. In terms of I always the day trades are hard. You got to adjust my mindset for swinging because it's completely different. I'm trading them when I'm buying higher in some sense, right? So I have to size accordingly, and then I also have to cut really
Right.
quick too, if that
Yeah.
right. Swinging though, I'm always looking for higher lows. That's one big thing. I try. You can try to catch the bottom. Rodessa is mentioned it a few times. You can try to catch the bottom, or you just wait for confirmation by the higher low. Because you're typically going to get the same entry as someone trying to catch the bottom and sitting
Right.
through 3-4 days of stress, versus just having that mental preservation and catching the higher low on just a few days later, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's at the same time though, you have to train yourself to buy the ugly, right? So in terms of scaling in, if I see a stock I really like
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's setting up, I'll do that same thing. I'll draw my levels on the yearly, maybe even monthly or weekly if I can't get the data that I need, and then the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and then I'll start setting alerts from that point, and then say, okay, I'm going to bring my eyes back to this point. It's not set up yet. It's still whatever, $1 away from where I want. I'll set my alert to be just like 10 cents above that or 15 cents above that alert, right?
Right.
So when it gets to that alert, I know confidently, and I say that, and I set my alerts to say this is a confident area I want to buy, right?
Okay.
I want to start scaling in, and especially working. And even if you don't work, I said, I still think it's important. If you don't work, if you're not working, you're trading and looking at other tickers. You can't look at everything at once. So regardless, for me, this is how I do it. I set it there so when my alert goes off, and I haven't scaled in yet, I haven't done anything with it. I'll look at that. I'll bring my eyes to it the second that alert goes off, and I'll look at it. I'll say, okay, it's getting close to my zone. Now I can watch it for the next little while here. And if it's still doing nothing that I like, I'll reset my alert somewhere else.
Okay.
If it's set in my alert and it gets a support, it's automatic at that. It's scaling it. It's not a matter of I got to spend 15, 20 minutes and chart this out and figure it out and waste time and have this confirmation, like have this analysis paralysis sort of deal, right?
Yeah.
So I've already done analysis the night before or several nights before. I can say I'm scaling it, done.
Okay.
And then I know where my max risk is. So if I say it's close enough to support that I'll dump in 50, 75% of a position.
Right.
If it flushes that support, I'll cut it. But if this is a super hot sector and it gets that support, but I'm not confident quite, I might scale in maybe 25%, 33%, 50%.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll still have another level below that. I can scale it a little bit more. But I manage that risk where I say, if I'm scaling in 50% here and it drops say 10%, well, I've only lost technically 5% of a position, right?
Yes.
So am I willing to scale in more there, or am I just going to cut it because I feel like there's bigger drops coming? I can get a better entry.
Right.
And if it goes, it goes. And I don't get it, I don't get it. It is what it is.
So just determining the difference between a dip buy and if you're getting the backside of the trade, right?
Exactly.
Got you. So you're trading around a core. You're not just going in heavy, right? Because I know Gary likes to go in heavy and he plays the 5-minute stuff like that. You're kind of core trading.
I am, and Gary's one of those guys that he's Gary, Tommy, they're day traders, right? And I think that's the whole idea of kind of going back earlier, never comparing your hustle, right? I don't. It's really it's awesome to see, and I'm super I feel like I could get there one day, but in my work and life situation now, I cannot. So I scale in 100%. So coming in around a core. So again, like I said, I'll come in 75% of a position. I'll scale into 75, but then I'll scale my way out. And in this market lately, I've been taking almost 100% profits on every single pop, and it's been great because it just keeps coming back down. It dips and it ranges and then it just fails. Right? It doesn't do that full retracement. Like, it's not a hot enough market. And Brady's kind of pounding this in my head, right? And it's I finally am starting to get it. But
Right.
if I don't take 50% and let 50% ride anymore, because if I do that, it's going to come dip right back down to my entry. I'm like, well, shit, I should have just taken it and just, it's giving me stress, right? So why not just take my full amount and go from there, right? And
Yes.
there'll come a time when the market gets hot where you can hold through that sort of level. But for now, I'll take any pop I can get. So that in terms of trading around a core, absolutely. Like, if I feel like Playboy, for example, or MEDS, I took 75% on the pop because I feel like it has continuation, but I took a sizable amount off my trade, right? But
Okay.
something that's left to like a second bounce sort of thing, I'll take it all.
Right. No, yeah, completely agree. We have another question, so I'm just going through the chat here from Senpai Trades. Something I struggle with when cutting is not being at PDT. Something I struggle with is with when cutting is not being at PDT. It can be a double whammy sometimes if it also uses a day trade, or I have to be super careful taking a position. I'd want to take if I don't have any day trades left. What do you have for as far as advice for these newer traders who are kind of under PDT? They only have those 3 day trades. What could you give as advice for those guys?
So I'm fortunate I've never had to deal with PD, and I'm sure you are as well because
Yeah,
we're a Canadian.
exactly.
One, and if you have cash, it helps. But look for super reliable setups. Look for same idea I've been looking for all the past few weeks. Look for something that's super oversold. Whether you use I use the TTM TMO, but if you use RSI, MACD, Stochastics, whatever it is, look for something super oversold, really good support, and take your trade there. And if it goes against you, it goes against you. It is what it is. But you decrease the probability of it going against you if you find something that's super oversold and that's at a really good support. Whether it's high volume nodes, whether it's good daily and weekly support and all that kind of stuff, psych support. But you got to accept the fact that things can go against you, right?
Yeah.
And you got to cut it if that's the case.
Yeah. You got to find multiple. You need your confluence. You need multiple indicators that are telling you the same thing. What I say to people as well is because we get this question a lot, right? And we are lucky to be in Canada. No PDT, let's go, right?
Yeah.
But so you can overnight things as well. So if you want to buy something today, sell it tomorrow. I don't think that counts towards your PDT. So that gives you a few extra trades as well. I think that gives you up to like 6 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. So I hope that helps a little bit, Senpai Trades. But you're looking for a bunch of indicators, sort of point in the same direction, I think. We got another question from the Party Shark. What are the characteristics you look for in a stock to decide whether to begin scaling in at 50% or 61.8%? Like, what variables must coincide to prove the confluence?
So I'm a big BPA guy, similar to Brady. I like making charts. I find when I use too much indicators, I was looking for confirmation bias, and I would end up just not taking the trade. So personally, if it's at 50, 61.8, I watch the volume. I watch how the pullback's happening. Is it a low volume pullback? If it's a low volume pullback and it's hitting at 50%, I'll start scaling in like a little bit heavier. If it's a heavier volume pullback and it still looks okay on the chart, I might maybe just take a starter and see where it goes and look for maybe, take a starter in case it goes and then buy the higher low as it comes out. But my plan at the same time is maybe come down to the 61.8 and go a little bit heavier. All depends on the price action too and how the VPA is looking, right? If it's trading heavy and the VPA looks bad and there's a lot of selling pressure, I might just cut it and just look to reposition it to open, right?
Right.
I'm assuming it's on a day trade too, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not seeing any more questions, so we're coming close to the end here. You got any more? Do you have any plans for the weekend? What's your weekend looking like? Doing some DD, or are you taking some time off? I know you're doing your Twitch stream, stuff like that. Just a quick note: if you guys aren't following Scalper Ryan on Twitch, please give him a follow. If someone can drop the link in the chat, that'd be great. But do you have any plans this weekend?
No, like I said, I take my kids to the skate park. We're gonna. My kid's been really wanting a dog lately, so we're gonna go look at go meet the parents and see how it goes, and then just enjoy the weekend with my family. And then in terms of studying and trading, I'll do my scans tonight. Just look to see if there's any setups I like into the week, and then I'll probably do a light scan tonight, and then I'll probably dial it in later in tomorrow or something like that. So.
Right.
Trying to figure it out. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people say you got to live and breathe this, but I find that balance is. I find balance is more important. I live and breathe this, but if you don't have a balance and diversified life, you're gonna burn out quick.
Exactly.
But I've done that a couple times already this past year.
Yeah. No, me too, man. It's tough. Like I'm working 12-hour shifts. Now I'm doing Twitch. I stream every single day for at least like 3 hours or whatever, and it's getting tougher and tougher to find some time to kind of kick back and sort of rest a little bit. So that's very inspiring to hear that you're hustling so hard and you're still able to take your family to the park and do all these really nice things. So that's good to hear. You're a great role model to have.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm humbled by that, to be honest. I don't. I hear everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's a cover." I'm like, I don't want to be a celebrity. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely humbled by the supports and follows that I've gotten and the nice thing. Every little bit every trader that's helped me along the way for free. I'm just more than happy to pay it forward and just pass on the knowledge I've been given, right? And like my struggle is no different than any of yours or anybody else. I go up and down, up and down. Am I where I'm at? Not even close. But at the same time, I feel like we're all on the same journey together. So I'm happy to share it and pay it forward.
That's awesome. Really great to hear. Once again, I just want to take this time to thank you for coming on today. This has been great. I'm trying to read the chat and interview at the same time, but no, it's been a lot of fun. You're a great guy. I really appreciate you coming on today. I do have another question for you.
Absolutely.
Just from me. I'm having Hugh Henney on tomorrow. If you had to ask, not had to, but if you got the opportunity to ask Hugh Henney a question for an interview, what would you ask him?
Oh God.
It's a tough one, right?
Like you always get those questions where it's like if you had one question to ask a celebrity, what would you do?
Yeah. It's a real tough
You
one.
know what? He's a huge swing trader, and he makes his money on just doubling, like just going in super heavy with swings, and I'm in complete admiration of how he does it, and he does it in a slow market too. So I'm wondering, my question would be, how do you find confidence to go so heavy into a swing in a slow market?
Right. That's a great
That
question.
would be my question, because he could go against you anyway. Like no matter what, your DD can go against you, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No,
And
that's
it's one of his biggest tenets is if the DD didn't change, why are you selling, right? So I wonder. At the same time, you got to have risk management. So yeah, that would be a big question for me. How do you find the confidence to do so, and knowing when to cut, right? And knowing how to scale into something like that, right? I guess it's obviously all about timelines for him, but yeah.
No, that's great. I'll for sure ask him that question from Scalper Ryan. So when do you like to cut a trade?
Similar to Brady, 10%.
Okay.
At the same time, that's my max, right? At the same time, I will scale into my levels, right? So I'll never catch the bottom, but I'll always have a max risk. So like I said, if I'm coming into a trade and I say, if I'm going in a trade and I think this is great support, say it's a $3 psych and I buy it at 305, and it's solid $3 psych, and I go in heavy, I'll go 75%. If it breaks that 305, I'll just take it. I'll go all out. So it's like less than a 1% loss because it's broken in the lower low, and I'll look to reposition under that site if that makes sense, right? So everything's a little dependent on where I want to cut it. If I hold it though, and it's at 10%, if it's more than 10% and it's diving, I'll just cut it outright.
Yeah, definitely. And does that change between your day trading and your swing trading?
No, it's pretty similar. Everything's dependent. Huge psych levels are huge. High volume nodes are huge.
Definitely.
I'll always look for buying at absolute support, but at the same time, if you have multiple supports behind you, say within 10, 15, 20 cents or something like that, 10, 15, 20, 30 cents, and you can scale in 10 cent at every 10 cent increments. Well, sure, I'll do that. So $3 stock, I'll scale in. I say I have a level at 330, but I feel like it could go down to 320, 310, $3, right? So that's a 10% spread from 330 to 3. So I'll still scale all the way down into there, and if it hits under 3, it's cut entirely. But I've been scaling in since 330, if that makes sense.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. Chat saying we'll sleep when we're dead.
You know what? That's tough. I don't sleep. I don't use what do you call it? I think some people use like pills and everything and stuff to keep me up. I don't use anything. I posted it before. My secret is to turn on old TV shows or movies and to keep me company.
And that'll keep you up.
Yep, that keeps me up. It doesn't distract me either.
Really? Yeah. No. For me, I have problems staying up too late. Like, my body just starts to shut down. I'm like, man, what's the secret here? You see guys like yourself and Fearless Trader up till like 3 in the morning. I'm like, man, how do you guys do it? Just absolutely crazy.
It's definitely tough. I'll say there's some days like it's the burnout's real sometimes. You have to just say, cut your losses and say I'm done, right? And you have to say, I'm going to take a night off, or, I still feel like the hard work will pay off in the end, right? But at the same time, it has to be within reason.
Definitely. Alrighty, guys. I think we're gonna start to wrap things up. This is the most viewers I've ever had. We're at 79 viewers. Let's go. Thank you.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm very humbled and slightly nervous. Dude.
Yeah, right. So am I. I'm over here like Jesus. But yeah, thank you, Brady. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the host. Get some more viewers in here. Let's go. This is highs of all time for our viewer count. I really, really appreciate that. The road to partnership is a difficult one. So, I appreciate all the help from all of y'all. That's really great. And if you're not followed, I'd really appreciate a follow. It's free. It's free. We love free things, right? So, hit that follow button. Thank you. All right, guys. Brady is going to be streaming in a few minutes. Any final, any last words you want to say to the chat, Ryan, for everyone listening, or most viewers?
Yeah, just honestly, find balance in your life. Work your ass off. Work hard, study hard, and if you love this, you'll find a way to make it work. But you have to find balance in it too. The market's not going away. It took me 5 years to go through an engineering. It took me 4 years to go through an engineering degree and 10 years of studying every day and working hard, working 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts, just to get my professional designations, multiple professional designations. And that's 13, 14 years in. This isn't going to come overnight, and you have to find some balance, and you have to work hard for it.
Absolutely.
That's kind of where my mindset is.
Man, that's so inspirational. I really appreciate that. That it means a lot to I think a lot of traders to hear that. So thank you so much once again, Scalper Ryan, for coming on to Twitch today. I'd love to have you on again in the future. Great conversation, and you're just a great guy. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been an absolute honor for you to have you.
To
be on. So right on. So I guess thank you very much again. Sorry, my kids just kind of write to me right now.
Oh yeah.
Chat. They communicate to me with what do you call it with the writing boards right now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right. Brady's I think getting ready to do his interview. Thank you guys so much for joining us live on Twitch today. Love out to your family, Ryan. Peace and love. Thank you so much for coming on today. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and end the call. That was Scalper Ryan, guys. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ryan. All right, guys. Ryan is officially off the line. It was great to have him on today. Put some music on for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today live on Twitch. We just hit higher viewers again. Wow, that's crazy. We're at 81. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We're going to wind things down now for Brady to come on. Thank you, Ryan. All right, guys. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy Brady's stream on some VPA. And I will see you guys tomorrow with Hugh Henney. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all the support here.
All right, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I stream every single day, and I will see you tomorrow live with Hugh Henny. All right, guys, 100 out.